Hello. Today, I wanted to rank all 7 new vehicles that have come out with the contract DLC in Grand Theft Auto Online. Before we get into this list, I just want to remind everybody, if you have not seen one of my ranking videos before this, my opinion on this matter is 100% factual and cannot be argued with. If you do not agree with what I say, you are simply wrong. If you comment and say that I'm wrong, everyone is going to know that you're wrong, so don't bother.
Mr. Clinton's a real deal, you know.
Anyway guys, these cars are getting ranked based on how cool they are and their performance. So with that being said, let us begin. Alright guys, starting off with the absolute worst car of the DLC, we have the Dubachi Champion. No, I'm just kidding. This thing's not actually at 7, don't worry. I know you were about to panic there for a second, but keep in mind, even if I did rank this thing here, my opinion is correct, and you are wrong if you disagree. Let's actually jump into number 7 though. Alright guys, at number 7 we have the Lampadati 5000. Now, unfortunately, I have to put this car at number 7 because, well, unfortunately, I feel like the general consensus is this thing is not the best car in the DLC. However, I do really like this car. So, you gotta understand, I actually like every single car that came out with this DLC. Unfortunately, the 5000 just is the one I like the least. However, I still think it looks awesome, so don't get me wrong, it's still a great car. You should probably buy it if you have the money to, but if you don't, there are some better cars, to be honest. Now, the 5000's best feature is that it sounds like this. And it also sounds like this. In my opinion, the car actually does look really good. I know it's not for everybody, but I think it is a great looking vehicle. Overall, I would definitely say I recommend this thing. You should probably buy one. It's good. Next up at number 6, we have the ENUS Deity. Now this thing is awesome. It's a really, really good car. It's a shame that I have to rank it so high on this list, but it is actually very good. You can equip armor plating on the side of it if you choose to, which is a very cool feature. It actually makes the car very, very armored as long as there is a player sitting inside of it. The front end is based off of the ENUS, I can't remember the name of it, but you know, that one, you know which one I'm talking about. The one that came out with the Diamond Casino heist. You guys know which one I'm talking about. Now, this car, honestly, I feel like it looks pretty good from every single angle. There's not really, you know, an ugly side of this car, I don't think. And, you know, it's a nice little 4-seater. The only reason this thing's ahead of the 5000 is because I just like it a tiny bit better. It's a good car. And it also sounds like this. So it's a very good sounding car, it looks pretty good, and it's armored. Not to mention, it also has machine guns, so you know, it's kind of a slapper. I mean, it's a good car. I mean, I just absolutely monstered that. Okay, okay, you're... Up. Good car. Now at number 5 we have the ENUS Jubilee. Now a lot of people were really disappointed with this car because you cannot change the interior color of it, which I know that does suck. However, it is still a really, really cool SUV. I really like the Rolls Royce Cullinan in real life. I think it's a pretty cool car, but I like the GTA version even better, to be honest. As far as SUVs go, this is one of the best ones we've ever got. I believe that it's actually going to be one of the fastest SUVs we have in GTA Online as well. Overall, I think it's a great car, and I think you should definitely pick it up. Not to mention, it's also a very good sounding car, which I would not expect from an SUV, but it does sound like this. Overall, very cool car. I think you should definitely pick one up if you have the money. The Jubilee also has extremely good handling and extremely good acceleration. This car is pretty much as good as it gets for an SUV. It also does not feel like it weighs 6,000 pounds like the real life Cullinan does, so that's another bonus. It's light and it handles very nicely. And you can very easily wipe out entire families with this car. Yet another bonus. Next up at number 4, we have the Pfister Astron. This thing is basically a Jubilee that looks better, performs better, and sounds better. This thing basically feels like the Jubilee, but if the Jubilee weighed 2,000 less pounds. And the Jubilee feels really light, so this thing feels extremely light. And like I mentioned about the sound, it sounds real good. This thing also looks extremely realistic compared to the car which it's based off of, which is the Porsche Macan Turbo in real life, or just the Porsche Macan. I'm honestly not 100% sure, but it looks very, very good. I'm a huge fan of this thing. Now, to talk about the performance, we gotta drive this thing. So off the line, very little wheel spin. It accelerates very, very nicely, and it also handles very, very nicely. Like I said, it's basically a Jubilee, but if it weighed 2,000 less pounds. This thing feels incredible. I have a feeling this may just be the new fastest SUV in the game as far as racing goes. I don't know about top speed or anything like that, but this thing, I just know that it feels so damn fast. And what I also know is that I would highly recommend that you guys pick this thing up. It's an awesome vehicle. I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about this thing. Let's move on to the next 3 vehicles. Alright, at number 3, this is the one that's probably going to get me into some trouble in the comments. But keep in mind, I'm right and you're wrong. The Dubocci Champion is a great car. I love this thing. It slaps. The performance is incredible. The looks of the car are pretty nice too. Really, I have no complaints about this thing. It deserves to be pretty high on the list, and that's why it's at number 3. Let's hop in. Now, of course, it does sound pretty good, and it has extremely good performance. This thing actually has super brakes and a super transmission equipped, so it will accelerate very, very quickly. Also, as you guys can see, it's got the big boy wing on it, so it gets lots of downforce, which is very good. However, despite all the downforce, it still does not stick to the road like you would hope that it would. But that's okay. It's still a great car. Don't worry about it. I would highly recommend picking this thing up. It is a great car. There is nothing to complain about with this thing. It's awesome. Buy it. Now. Alright guys, at number 2, we have the Pegasi Ignis. Sorry, I just had to really pronounce the U because somebody got really mad at me in my comment section earlier for calling it the Ignis. It's the Ignis, because Ignis is so much easier to say than Ignis. My bad. Now the Ignis is a very, very good car. I have a feeling this thing may be the new king of the supercars category in Grand Theft Auto Online. And whether or not it is does not matter because I think this thing looks absolutely incredible. The amount of detail that this car has, I mean, if you just look at the back section of the car, like the amount of different angles and shapes that are built into that are just, I don't even know. It's incredible. This thing is amazing. It's an awesome car. I would highly recommend everybody picks this thing up. It's hard to say what's actually faster, the Champion versus this thing. I personally think the Champion is probably faster in top speed, but this thing definitely handles a little bit better. With that being said, it's time to hear this thing, and it's time to take it for a little test drive. It sounds pretty good. It's got the same sound as the Tempesta, but you know what? I'm honestly not too bothered because it still sounds really good. Now, off the line, this thing is 4-wheel drive, of course, so it is going to be very, very quick. Almost no wheel spin with this thing at all when you first launch it, which is, you know, very good. We like that. And as far as the handling goes, okay. The handling on this car is so good that you actually get, you know, tighter into the corner as you go around the corner more. This thing oversteers ever so slightly, which allows the nose to come in a little bit more when you're going through a sharp corner, which is why I just hit that lamppost and proceeded to get absolutely launched into that building. But of course, this thing took it like a champion. It's an awesome car, guys. When I mean it when I say it. This thing is probably worth every penny that they ask for it. It's also got an absolute ton of customization that you can do to it, and you can make this thing pretty much completely personalized. You can make it look exactly how you want to. I literally don't have any complaints about the Ignis. It is a great car. You should definitely pick this thing up. Anyway guys, it's time to move on to number one. You guys already probably know what it is. I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out, but if you don't know, you're gonna find out in 1 second. Alright guys, and at number one, of course, we have the Bravado Buffalo STX. This is a car the community has been waiting 6 years, maybe 7 years, to actually get in Grand Theft Auto Online. So when I saw this, I became unbelievably hyped. This car is incredible. I know the entire Dodge community today, when they saw this, just was smiling because we have been wanting this car forever in Grand Theft Auto Online, and we finally have it. And I gotta say, man, this thing, it looks incredible, it drives incredible. It's an awesome, awesome car. I would highly recommend that everybody picks this thing up. It is going to be a very, very popular car in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, as far as the features of this thing go, it accelerates well, it handles extremely well, especially for a muscle car, and it also sounds really, really good. Now, of course, with a lot of the new cars, they're also equipable with machine guns. This thing is no different. As you guys can see, it does have machine guns, which is very cool. Now, of course, to get into the actual performance of the car, we've got to drive it, no doubt. So, the acceleration is pretty good on this thing. It's not the best. It's not going to probably win you any races, I don't think. However, it is quite quick. It's no slouch, that is for sure. And even better than the acceleration with this car is the actual handling of it. This thing is a bravado vehicle that is a muscle car that can actually go around a corner. And I know what you're thinking, no, that's not possible. Well, hear me out. Watch me take this next corner. Okay, well, ignore what just happened. This thing can actually go around a corner at a good speed. I promise it can. I just am not a very good driver, apparently. At least not right now. Here we go, here we go. Look at this. Went around the corner. It only slid out a little bit. It's not too bad. Here we go, here we go. I'm gonna do it again. Watch this, watch this. Trust me, it actually handles well. I promise. Hey yo, floating headlight though? Anyway guys, the reason the STX is at number one over all the other cars is because I feel like the community is pretty united in wanting this thing in Grand Theft Auto Online and being very thankful that it actually is in Grand Theft Auto Online. Anyway guys, that's it for my ranking of these vehicles. I will be doing another ranking once we get all of the drip feed vehicles released to us in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed this video or if you learned something, please leave a like, it helps me out. Dislike if you didn't enjoy the video. Comment down below, let me know that I'm right. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.